chairperson and the entire Electoral Commission is that, is there any law that makes it illegal for the independent audit to be made? If there is none, then my submission is that I feel that an independent audit will rather boost the credibility and image of the voter register. Because just imagine if an independent auditor comes and says, well, the register is 100% clean. That one, it is not the EC saying it. Because what Dr. Ufori said, I mean, the presentation is nice, but it is the EC speaking. So now that there are issues of mistrust and all that has happened, if an independent person comes and confirms that it is clean, I think it will boost the credibility and the trust that we all have. So that is a comment I want you to consider as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, we would like to know your names. So when you stand, you want to ask questions or comments, please mention your name so that we know the person who is speaking. Yes, CPP.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, the EC, for this opportunity. I'm Yirimambo Moses Ambing, Coordinator, Organizational Committee, CPP. We in the Convention People's Party will have to commend the EC for it has made this to meet table. For us, we all got very alarmed when we heard our brothers and sisters from the NDC. Yes, thank you. We all got very alarmed when we heard the NDC coming out with all these figures. And the figures, in our view, were so huge. But quickly, we realized that the CI already has a self-cleansing mechanism embedded in it. And that mechanism, when you go through the mechanism, you realize that it becomes then very difficult that errors will not be corrected at the provisional stage. So after the giving out of the register at the exhibition, we assume that all these errors are supposed to be corrected. And when you go through the proceedings from CI 25 to 27, it is explicit there how these errors can be detected and corrected. And I'm happy, just last week, 24th of September, in Kumasi, a district court has ordered the EC to expunge about 1,000 transfers from Inshia South. And I believe that this is the way to go. Because this process is really embedded in the CI. Where you go to the district review committee, it goes to the district court. So the procedures are very clear. And I'm happy that a district court in Kumasi has done this. And I know many more to follow where there are issues, there are procedures to address them. I must also admit the frankness of the EC. Where you got it wrong, you admitted that you were wrong. And you did your checks and you have corrected it. This is what we want to see. As major stakeholders, we are happy when the election body admits its faults. That yes, when it comes to issue AOB, we had some errors and we have corrected them. We in the Convention People's Party are very glad. Now, we in the CPP are also saying that we are confident of the process thus far. And we hope that all the corrections as stated here will be done before the register is given back to us, the political parties. The EC chair spoke about a re-exhibition online. I believe the only challenge we have as a party is that we've realized that people do not really patronize these exhibition exercises. And if it's online, you know, in our country, our rural folks, I don't know how they can use this short code to check or even go on online portals to check for their names. So I believe that in that regard, as stakeholders, let's find a mechanism of doing better. How do we get every ordinary Ghanaian involved in this re-exhibition process? I believe when that is done, we'll have a very clean register that we all will be proud of come December 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We go to Madam Ikuya-Donkor, GFP, before we do you.
Easy, mammy, any papa no, penny for a me denya me ase se me baby ye ye nyina ye ma me ba no so me ma no fi so o ye nyina he na se me denya me ase se obetna konwa so esu fidi amanfo asum no and this for ade papa na so o ma de court bra no obetwere edini e de court na so o ma ni mu ase ka o mo ni nyina achi no ya sa betwere edini me amesi we ameka sei Easy can say, will be a funny nipper, a metna table no, but be a trade, and will be a funny pamela. Now, who say, a bachelor will be anti me, I can't answer. Maybe the Nipa baby, I was with the Nipa Covi. You know, actually, I didn't come up. What the book are, yeah, they challenge you, I can't hold the play car home. So, be a 1 year if you don't watch it, yeah, will be a 1 year Ghanaekosen. I dare no more head first. When you say I'm in buy. When you go for a buy, you will die more. When you die more, a bumpire saying I'm going to Santanachi, Quam Biaso, 1 year nothing, where your bass uncle, where your new person uncle, me boa basso, pro, I isn't penny for no penny, well, bomb basso. I don't know what it is, sir. Many a man can't into me. Must say, any fed you know what I say, yeah, you will, and then more years a baby. A mobwa. I don't know what I'm to us. What's what baby I don't know. I don't know what is that. I don't want quiet, yes, trade. I say, Kukum, no more contribute. I know 9 change. Yes, I'm not Kakos. What's that what trade idea for 1 before? And before the bomb about Swati, someone casa. No more sa contribute about Daddy and Pope with a whole body. What's every hobby caswa, one marco to cross or second, to Chanipa. A dear Amoye, or man, you ask what they quay, or man, Mommy, Yaso, your papa near Fantiaba. I buy a ever tree. I find every so by be a come up. But if you are by, I had to know where, sir. Mamma, my name, but we're begging that you when you
please, I would like to just try and then translate what Madam Kiadonko said. I'll paraphrase. Okay. Let me say, it seems like she said certain things that respectfully, I think she has to withdraw that. And I think on behalf of the Electoral Commission, I think some of those words, I think didn't sound well. Thank you very much. Now we go to PNC. Please, we'll come to you. NDC will come to you. PNC.
Thank you very much, my brother. My name is Samson Asake Awingobit. I'm the National Chairman for People National Convention Party. People National Convention for short. First and foremost, I want to use this opportunity to thank Madam Chair and your board members or your deputy commissioners for giving us the opportunity to take part. This is my first time in Ipac meeting to take part in this very important thing. And to recommend you and your team for accepting the call that this Ipac meeting should be televised for all the over 30-something million Ghanaians to see the truth of it, to show that you have nothing to hide in your cobwebs. And so you have done it, and you've said, going forward, additional Ipac meetings, you are assuring Ghanaians and all of us sitting here that they will be televised for everybody to see what is happening. Your key word is transparency, fairness, is that not it? And so that is what we are all looking for. Let me also use this opportunity to also recommend the NDC for pushing for this, because one of their calls was they want to see this Ipac meeting televised so that everybody will see. And I'm happy that your IT manager was able to take steps to explain what you have done, get back to the 5 petitions, 5 reasons that the NDC brought before you, things that they have worked on, and then going forward, what you want to do for this country. All of us, collectively, want to see a credible, free and fair, credible election comes December 7th. And that is what we are working towards. I'm happy that you said it's a process. It's not just one-day event. And we admitted where there are errors, and your IT manager, Dr. Yao Ofori, also agreed that they are working in the human institutions, and that could happen. I am sitting here as the national chair of my party, but I am saddened that it was the same errors and omissions that made you to disqualify my party presidential candidate. And so if you accept that EC is managed by human beings, and human beings are bound to make errors, then we are also coming from the earth, not from the planet. And so I want all the 30 million Ghanaians who are watching us to see to it that PNC are also human beings, human institutions, and we are bound to make errors. And madam, I'm pleading with you that as we are recommending you for the good job that you are doing today for Mother Ghana, this is for Mother Ghana, and you said Ghana is for all of us. Please, then don't disqualify us because we are human beings. That is my appeal to you, my personal appeal to you and your business.
PSC, yes, your point well taken.
Please,
thank you very much.
No, sorry. I think you have given you've allotted 1 to 4 minutes, isn't it? I'm not sure I've gotten today.
You are almost.
Yes, I'm almost. Thank you very much. So you are interjecting, isn't it? You said there's no interjections. So, Madam Chair, and your deputies, I think if I walk out, I will now walk out with broad chest and say the EC has opened for transparency. I know our brothers from the MPP and NDC will also speak to their issues. But this engagement alone will really bring confidence to the institution. Will really show that you and your team has agreed to over 30 million calls. Those, if you have done this meeting without television, without radio, Ghanaians wouldn't have known whether who's speaking the truth and who's not speaking the truth. I therefore, on behalf of my party, we are very grateful for this opportunity given to us. And once again, include us in the 2024 general election because we are also human beings. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We would like to pause here. Doc, would you like to respond to some of the few issues before we take the second round of questions? Doc, there is a mic there, so I think you can stand there or sit down and then address the issue.
Good morning once again. Up by the PPP. The first one was the missing voters. What was the cause? So if you recall, during my presentation, I said that meeting voters come about as a result of 2 reasons. The first one being the fact that they may have corrupt biometrics. And our voter register is a biometric voter register. So if we don't have biometrics for you, you cannot be on the biometric voter register. We have your biometrics are corrupt, and that is how we are able to find you. So that is how we are able to find you and then say that you are missing, but in your instance, it's a question of re-registering you because your biometrics are corrupt. The other instance occurs mainly with the offline registration, where a kit may get damaged or a kit may stop working, or the data that is on the kit may get corrupt in transit. So for the offline registration, first the registration is stored, the registration data is stored on the kit. It is sent on USB drives to the district offices. From the district offices, it is uploaded to the data center in an HQ. So along that pathway, sometimes data gets corrupt, right? And so people come up as missing. And that is how the missing voter comes about. The other question you asked was, at which point is a person given a voter ID card, a new voter ID card during the transfer? Immediately the transfer goes through, a voter ID card is issued. I hope that answers your question.
So what happens when the district court reverses it?
What happens?
When the district registration officer reverses it.
So when a reversal is done, a new ID card is printed, and they have to pick it up. Okay, so Deputy Chair has prompted me to go over the automatic biometric identification system. So let me just take the opportunity and do that. So we've got the ABIS. The ABIS is what we use for verification of individuals and also for registration. So imagine that we are starting the system afresh. There's no record in it. The first person who gets registered, we will store what we call a template of their face and their 10 fingerprints. The next person who gets registered will be checked against what is there. And all 10 fingerprints will be checked against all 10 fingerprints individually. So if you remember maths, it's probably 10 combination 10. It does all that together with the pictures. And we'll do it for every successive registration that goes through. The moment it picks up a duplicate or there's a match, it flags it. And then we'll move it into another system, so to speak, for it to be analyzed. So that's how ABIS works. And then we've got the voter management system. The voter management system communicates with ABIS. So the first registration from the registration devices and all that comes through the voter management system. Voter management system then takes that data and presents it to ABIS. ABIS works on it and then returns it together with its decisions. So in a way, we actually have a lot of redundant data in our system, so that if there are any issues anywhere, we can compare and contrast and find out what it is. But the primary role for ABIS is to do the deduplication, do the identification and verification of voters using their fingerprints.
Thank you very much, representative from the PPP, and thank you for your question about the forensic audit. I believe that you are well aware that CI 91, as amended by CI 126, identifies clear legal pathways for the cleaning of the provisional voters register. And during my presentation, I outlined a number of these processes, including the work by the magistrates, the DRROs, the authentication, amongst others. And so as a commission, we believe that the legal processes outlined by law, including the administrative processes that are age-old, they do work. As you saw from my presentation, we have not exhausted the legal processes or the administrative processes. They are ongoing, and so we have not arrived at that place yet. We are still ongoing. It's important to note, as we have emphasized, that the exhibition itself is a self-auditing process. It allows us to audit, to go and verify details on the register, and if we have problems, we identify them and inform the commission to fix it. So these processes are inbuilt within the law, within the CI 91, as amended by CI 126. We are carrying them through. We have not sidestepped them, and we have not ignored them. They are ongoing. And we believe that it will bring us to a final register that is credible and robust. The good news is that we have agreed as a commission to provide you and the citizenry with a revised provisional register. And this would allow you to review it, to ensure that all the issues that you had with it have indeed been fixed. So we believe that you should allow the process to work. Let us allow our laws to work. We are implementing the processes, and we are confident that it will bring us to a credible and robust register ahead of the 2024 election. Thank you.
Now we take the next set of questions. NDC, can we give the mic to NDC? Any other? Please, NDC, hold on. Any other? GUM, LPG, and then NPP. So, APC, okay. So, NDC, please. Doctor, please introduce yourself, and then you ask or you comment. Thank you.
My name is Kofi Omanebuama, Director for Elections and IT, NDC. I think that the ground rule must be modified. Obviously, no other political party was seen during the PowerPoint presentation being responded to. So it is obvious we have done a good job, and that is why today you are all here to help deepen our democracy. This said, very obviously, 1 to 4 minutes for all other political parties will certainly not be enough for the NDC. Thank you. When your roof is leaking, you can decide to mop, keep mopping, and keep mopping. Or you can decide to fix the leakage and mop. What we see here is mopping and mopping and mopping. Fixing the leakage is missing. And this is at the heart of our altruistic demand for a forensic audit. This forensic audit is not just about the register. When you have fixed the register, and I will demonstrate to you how, as a result of our revelations, some aftermath fixing is providing a semblance of we are fixing it. When you fix it, and we all look at the hard copies, and we are all giving the PVR, the soft copies. In November, if the very criminals that got us here are still there, engaged in illegal transfers, we will come back to square one. And that time, it will be too close to the December 7 elections. This is why we are saying we need to adopt a dichotomous approach. Look at the register, fix the issues in there, and also audit the very IT systems that allowed these anomalies to occur. We have heard, and Madam Chair spoke about the fact that we certainly do not require external assistance. I've also heard some EC officials question the legality. We have CI 91 as amended by CI 126. We also have CI 127. Okay? A suggestion is being made that on December 7, we are likely to see missing voters list at the polling stations. Is that not the case? Is that not what we've been told here? About 1,551 voters are likely to be captured on a list that will be called missing voters list. Is that not it? I'm here to identify which of these laws has missing voters list. But you see, it's a reasonable remedy for the problem that we are dealing with. And so when you have to go beyond these in a way that it will not hurt but help our democratic process, you need to give it greater consideration. I come also to the point of adjudication, and we saw some very huge figures in the presentation. Are these figures emanating from the very adjudication meetings that NDC participated in? Because to the best of our knowledge, the meetings that we participated in, we did not treat these figures in tens of thousands, about 20-something thousand. So once again, it will be important for a forensic audit to identify where these over 20,000 figures are coming from. Because the report that we have does not support that. We come to the issue of proxy. We are being told proxy, 2,167. Great. But we also know people successfully filed for proxy without going through biometrics. As we speak, which of these 2,167 people went through biometrics and which of them did not go through biometrics? It is going to take maybe a follow-up question. EC may tell us maybe 1,000, maybe 900. How do we verify that? This is a matter that we have raised at Ipac. This proxy and some people not going through biometrics, we've raised it at Ipac before. Again, we come to the issue of Pusiga. Just like COVID-19, when some people were trying to call it a certain country's disease. Perhaps we should not be calling those criminal transfers Pusiga transfers. And it will take a forensic audit of the EC's IT system to know where those transfers took place. And because I do not have the answers on this Pusiga matter, I want to ask some few questions. One, the login credentials given to your district directors, the passwords, can they modify it so that it will become unique to them? Example, if you are given a bank card, your bank will give you an initial password, and because they don't want anybody to have access to your password, will give you the opportunity for you to change that password of your bank card. In the case that we are dealing with, the district officers, the passwords that they are giving or the login credentials that they are giving, are they said that other people can have access to them? And so when you have said criminal transfers taking place, the only way out is to check the digital footprints of such transfers instead of just looking at the geographic location where the transfers ended and say that that is where it took place, so that officer or officers are the people who are culpable. If others can have access to those login credentials, then it is important that a forensic audit establishes exactly the footprints of where these transfers took place. Still on Pusiga, are we being told here that 4 years ago, 2020, there wasn't technology across the globe to be checking biometrics with the face? Is that what we are being told by the Electoral Commission? Is that what we spend the taxpayers' money on in the year 2020? Contrary to all the advocacy by Imani, Ghana, and the rest. Is that what we are being told? That this liveliness test could only be activated after the revelation of Pusiga, and there is evidence that it was only activated during the exhibition process. The Director for Electoral Services eloquently captured this on the TV3 program one Saturday morning. I have the video clip.
Doc, please,
right
can you
here.
round up? Because you've gone beyond the 4 minutes that we gave you. Can you pause so that maybe we go to another set of questions, rounds?
Again, I've heard the word assurance, reassure, many times. When assurance is given, the assurance is treated with value judgment. And that value judgment is hinged on reliability and credibility. We have had palpable experience on different occasions with the Electoral Commission that obviously demonstrate that we must rebuild that trust in order for us to accept assurances. And the evidence is obvious. basic arithmetic errors during limited voter registration exercise. Basic. And here we are talking about auditing IT system. These same IT people were those who were using CorelDRAW to be working arithmetic. We also experienced 2020 declaration of the presidential results. Declared, corrected, corrected again. Assurance is built on trust. That trust is broken. Again, we've all been to the corporate office and the headquarters of the Electoral Commission before. We see the police and the military protection, even for officers. How DVR laptops could be stolen under CCTV surveillance, military and police protection, damages our trust. We are also dealing with the number of times that we were expecting the PVR to be released to us. A letter written, and we were glad to have received it from the Electoral Commission in July, all the way through July, up to August. Zilch. August 14, nothing happens. August 16, nada. Until 19th of August. Those series of assurances, expectations that were broken, hurt and damage our trust. So when the assurances are given, we treat the assurances with value judgment that is emanating from these trust issues that have been broken. We are here looking at the evidence that we presented. And we are glad that the EC has accepted 3 out of 5. And where they don't even accept, they try to explain. And that is one of the reasons it is not strategic to provide the Electoral Commission with a full gamut of what we have. And I will explain. And Esofori, the day at the EC corporate office, why were we not told that Esofori had effected a transfer and all the details that we are being given? It is possible all these are true. I do not doubt them. Hear me clearly. It is possible. But you see, when you provide political parties with the provisional voters register, you expect our analysis to be based on the data that we have been given. You do not expect our analysis to be based on any extraneous material. If there are researchers here, they must understand exactly what I'm saying. So, the PVR that we were provided with, if you analyze them, would you have arrived at the same conclusion? The answer is yes. So even there, as you try to rationalize after having the information, what you forget is that you are assembling what you did not provide political parties with to rationalize. This is why, because of the coefficient of bias, which is very, very high in this case, there is the need for a forensic audit of not just the register, which is being fixed. Why not? And I commend the EC. The EC says that after they have fixed all, and I thought per the submissions of the EC on air, we have heard several times, they had already corrected all the things. Go online. You find that the NDC issues have been fixed. But we do admit, we don't want to be linguistic purists. We do admit that maybe it was an exaggeration. As they fix them, they have promised to provide the updated version. We came here with a hard drive. If the updated version is already, why not? We will pick it and still analyze, take it through the very analysis that we did. But that is only about the register. That is only about mopping the floor. It doesn't fix the leakage. That is why our demand is in two folds. Forensic audit of the register and forensic audit of the IT system of the Electoral Commission. Lyra has a very simple question for Dr. Yawufurieji. Then we end our case for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. And thank you, Madam Chair. First, Dr. Ofori, you made mention about the ABIS, that is Automated Biometric Identification System. Initially here, you said that it is only when it detects double registration that it moves to adjudication, if I'm correct. Unfortunately, you came back to say that now all ABIS moves adjudication, all double registration moves to adjudication. So I think that is the correct one that you just said lately. Now, in terms of the transfers, when you talk about the liveliness detection, from what you said, it was detected during the the exhibition exercise when we alerted it about based on the procedural issues. Now, the question that I want to ask is, what measures did you take as a commission to correct all this? I heard you saying that all those who did facial transfers have been reversed. What if somebody did a legitimate transfer? And on what algorithm did you use to effect those reversal? Now, the other thing that I want to ask has to do with you said there was a network issues in generating the register, and that caused some of the data to be corrupt. Now, the question is, do you generate your data from your central database system or from the district? Because what I know is that your liveliness system, in terms of the online registration, when you click on it, it hits your central system to detect whether somebody is doing multiple registration or not. Now, as you stated clearly, in data migration or transfer, there's no way a data can be altered. The likelihood of what will happen is a missing of data. Now, we have a situation whereby a voter's ID number is being given to a different person. If you have your system here, I think that one I can give it to you for us to check correctly. Then there's another way where the data is being given to, when you search, the person's data is not in at all. You have to just go through by searching using the person's name. So those are the few questions I'll ask now. Once you ask, there will be a follow-up questions on those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Last part.
No, please. We've given you more than 9 minutes.
No,
can we go to another? Come back. Okay. So please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Frank Osu Frimpong, the National Communication Director for Ghana Union Movement. Mine is two quick ones. The first is on the concerns raised by our brothers of the NDC. And my observation is that if there is a possibility of the EC's IT department engaging the IT sectors of the political parties on a different meeting so that they can, because some of the things are technical to some of us. So if they themselves meet and they can find a way to understand or judge or to come to a strong, decision on how to implement all that the EC is telling us, I think that would be very good. Secondly, mine is on the missing voters. And after commending the EC for a very good job done to this time, I wish to say that since every vote counts in determining the final outcome of the elections, for us to know who wins by the mandate given us 50% plus 1, I'm calling on the EC to do due diligence in addressing this particular issue, so that at the end of the day, no eligible voter is disenfranchised from exercising their expected civic duty, which is also a part of their fundamental human right to determine who should lead them. So I pray the EC to do this for us. Aside commending them for a very good job done, they need to do due diligence on this for us, on the missing voters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The mic to APC, and then we go to the NPP.
Thank you very much. My greetings to Madam Chair and to all party members here from various parties. First of all, I want to applaud both the NDC and Madam Jane Mensah, the Commission, for doing a great job and listening to each other. The NDC had brought a lot of issues for all of us to listen to. We have carefully listened to it from various platforms, and today we are on the main platform where things were addressed for all of us to hear. But for me, it's going to be very difficult for Ghana to have a perfect system without a national data system. We've been running around talking about data collection, data system, national health insurance, DVLA, Ghana card, EC. In other jurisdictions, I'm sure some of those from the foreign countries are here, they have a data system, a database, one data system that has every information of everybody from the child born today until the last old man standing. We don't have such data. And we must admit that we are doing our best to give each other a perfect data. And that has challenges. We cannot say that we will not have challenges in anything we do. That is not entirely true. So in as much as we want a perfect data, we should be thinking about the APC national data system that we have been proposing all this while. That system captures every information of everyone. And when you turn 18, you don't need the EC to tell you, come and register. A letter will be sent to you to go to the EC's office to register your name automatically. When you turn 18, whether you are a Ghanaian or a foreigner who comes from Ghana or another country, you cannot register if you're a foreigner. But what do we do here? Parties here bring in foreigners to come and register. Parties here bring in minors to come and register. And you expect 100% perfection of a voter register. How is that going to be possible? We are the cause of where we are today. And we must all admit, we cannot be feeding the voter register and expect it to be credible the way we want it. So if the EC is giving us something and the NDC is asking a forensic audit into the voter register, there's no problem asking for a forensic audit. But the problem here is that we are only holding a provisional voter register. And that allows for correction, and allows for updates, and that allows us to make suggestions like we are doing now. until we get to the final register. It is when we have the final register, then we have problems with it. Of course, we will all agree that yes, we will not go to the election until these problems are resolved. Whether it's coming from the NDC, it's coming from the MPP, it's coming from the APC or any other party. Because we are all part of this game called elections. And we must admit that listening to them today, I'm convinced that they are doing their best. And I'm also convinced that the NDC is convinced that listening to them today, there have been new changes and new development from where it was until today. So, I need all of us to know this, that I also want to appeal to the EC. In terms of Pusuga, the casual workers we take to help us in every process in electoral committee activities is also another problem. Don't forget, most of these casual workers are either NDC, MPP, APC, or any other thing. So when we find a problem like this in Pusuga, like Madam Chairperson, it's a human society. If I'm an APC member and I think that a member come and I want to favor, I will favor you. Whether I'm an EC member or not, I will do it. But the point here is that, look at the problem now. We have transfer of vote, 332,000. What is that for? What it means is that some political party were making transfer from where they have strongholds and where they think they have weak or less stronghold and they can win. They will transfer the huge numbers from that place to favor themselves. Are we listening very well? So, this issue that we are facing today is not just an issue of the EC. It's all of us. We have contributed to this. That's the fact of the matter. We have all contributed to where we are. We want a credible voter register, but we feed it with wrong information. We feed the EC with wrong information, yet we want a credible voter register. How on earth will that happen? How? The computers are not human beings, they are systems. What you feed it is what is going to give back to you. It will not give you a different thing. We want to win elections as political leader, and look at our attitude. We want to be president of the Republic of Ghana, yet we are corrupt. Is this the attitude of the people who want to be president of this country? Is this our attitude? Can we be trusted ourselves? I am ashamed of all of us here. Please, let me finish. Yes, everybody has time. The NDC spoke well. I'm also a big party. Then the issue of forensic audit into the IT system. Let me be sincere with my brothers from the NDC. If there is no IT system, there is no voter register. Let's be sincere. If the IT system is not working, there is no way you can get a voter register. So, I will plead. Yes, of course, we all want what is right for us. So let's wait. Mr. IT man, you were here, and you listened to what everybody is saying. We all want a credible voter register. Because we want, when we win, when the APC win election, there will be war between NDC and MPP. When the MPP wins election, they will come and say the voter register was not corrupt. They will accept it in this state. If they win this election, they will accept the voter register. They won't come complaining. Am I right? The same way if MPP wins, they will also accept the voter register. So in as much as we want a credible voter register, Madam, well done for giving us a perfect understanding of what you presented today. We are grateful. I am not here to defend any party or support any party. I am here to talk for APC and the Ghanaian people. We are their voice. And we must begin to look at each other and tell us the truth. We are not here for propaganda. We are here to build a nation. We are here to build institutions, strong institutions. And we must all be part of it. I thank you and I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, we'll move the mic to the NPP. NPP, LPG will come to you on the next round of questions. NPP, please. We'll end, after the NPP, we'll end this round of questions. Then we'll take the response from the IT and the Commission.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson. Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Good afternoon, members of the diplomatic corps, media, and colleague political party activists. Today is 1st October, and barely 9 years ago, 2015, we were assembled here for the same purpose of getting a credible register for the 2016 elections. This same Alisa Hotel, 9 years ago. And I recall vividly, as a member of the NPP team, that when we had made our presentations about the state of the register, that it was bloated, that it was not fit for purpose, and we were calling for a new register, our colleagues on the other side said, no, the register is fit for purpose. Allow the Electoral Commission to do its work. Why are you interfering in the affairs of the Electoral Commission? Today, they are playing the catch-up. They are playing the catch-up with the MPP. But I'll go back even before 2016. In 2008, just before the 2008 elections, NDC made allegations that there were some 13 constituencies in Ashanti region whose register have been bloated. The then commission, headed by Dr. Afarijan, also met Ipac in this same fashion and constituted a committee, one from MPP, one from NDC, and two from the other political parties. MPP nominated Kwabena Ejapong, I remember very well, and NDC nominated Dr. Percy. They went into the matter and they came back to report that it was an error from a computer input. So the allegations were dismissed. I think that we are repeating ourselves the same way. So I am very happy and I commend the Electoral Commission for instituting today's meeting to the full glare of the entire Ghanaian public and our friends from other countries. The call for audit, be it audit or forensic audit, is, and I'm repeating what the NDC said in 2015, in this same venue, that it is embedded 91, a copy which is here, as amended by 126. That was what the presentation NDC made 9 years ago. So what has changed? What really has changed with the exhibition and various corrections that can be made on the exhibition, be it omission of names, it can be included, be it wrong spelling. What really is important is what the CI says. For example, the CI says you must be resident in the area for a minimum of 12 months before you can do a transfer. You must be resident in the area or the community or the electoral area for a minimum of 12 months before you can effect a transfer. Only last week, in the Kumasi High Court, Magistrate Court, an NDC-sponsored transfers were sent packing to go to where they came from. In the Kumasi metropolis, a judge ruled that they were not resident in that area. So they are surreptitiously saying things, one thing, and doing the other, just to court the public support for an election they are going to lose. Don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. You must put your mind back to 2015 in this same area, how you treated the entire presentation we made. What did IEA say? IEA was made up of political parties with representatives in parliament. So it was the views of the political parties that were espoused by the IEA. So here we are, 2008, 13 constituencies in Ashanti region have their votes bloated because Ashanti is the heartbeat of MPP. These were challenged, they went through, and nothing untoward was discovered. In 2015, we made serious effort to get a new register or a cleanup, or what they now call a forensic audit. We went through the motions, all right, but we were denied because the panel, and for that matter, the commission at that time, entreated us to use the mechanism of the exhibition to do any corrections we want to make. What has changed? I want to ask my brothers in the NDC. And today, the NDC is saying 50,000 people are dead on the register. In 2015, and I like to quote from the report of the committee chaired by the late VCRAC Crab, on page 14 of the report, stated that by 2016 elections, based on the reported number of registrants in 2012 and 2014, there were as many as 580,000 estimated number of voter deaths. I repeat, by 2016 elections, based on the reported number of registrants in the 2012 and 2014 registrations, there were as many as 580,000 estimated number of voter deaths that would have occurred cumulatively. What happened? They told us to go and bring the death certificate. Where was I going to get the death certificate from? So if you have 50,000 today, it's less than what we had in 2016. But we went to the elections and we beat you with over 1 million votes. We beat you with over 1 million votes. Unprecedented in the history of elections in this country. But Madam Chairperson, the committee at that time commended the New Patriotic Party must be commended for raising on the public platform the need for a credible voters register. This was in 2015, 9 years ago here. So you may be commended as well. You may be commended. We were commended at that time. So we commend you. But that's how far you can go, my friend. That is what you told me. That is what you told me. So the issues have been fixed. The IT director has said and we followed it. And I'm telling you that we commend you the same way the committee then commended us. But you are trying to play the catch-up. So we will leave you to your fate. But you have 1,000 fraudulent votes that you try to transfer to Menchia South, which you will have to go back and answer. So for us, we strongly believe that what the IT director and Madam Chairperson spoke about, the presentation, is very fair and is the best method prescribed by the law on how to deal with any exigencies in the voters register. I will leave it to my General Secretary to put a finishing touch to it. Thank you.
Please, we'll give you 2 minutes. Just wrap up 2 minutes. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, distinguished CSOs, members of the diplomatic corps, colleagues from other political parties. Just as my Director of Elections reiterated on this platform, as stakeholders in this year's elections, carrying from what APC presidential candidate said, it bestows on us, irrespective of our political device, to make sure that the peaceful country that we are enjoying remains same after December 7th. But Chair, not long ago, certain people were asked to hit the street to demonstrate against the Electoral Commission based on what they perceive to be discrepancies and an attempt to rig the election for the new Patriotic Party. Upon several calls from key stakeholders that if NDC indeed have legitimate concerns to raise, we even asked them to do a press conference, invite all of us, walk us through all the allegations that they are talking about. Today, as we speak, the NDC is yet to give those so-called allegations and discrepancies to the Electoral Commission. Let it be on record. And for me, I challenge them that all those allegations that they are making and how the Electoral Commission will be able to address the issue, they don't have any further allegations. If indeed they do have it, they should bring it forth for us to interrogate it and see whether the Electoral Commission has addressed it or not. It's not a question about having a leaking roof and mopping your floor. It's about the data, what you presented to the Electoral Commission. The whole people of Ghana want to see it. And that is the comment APC made. That even the request for forensic audit is needless at this point, because we are yet to see those allegations that you are talking about. And the Electoral Commission has said that they are going to furnish us with the cleanup that they have done. So, Madam Chair, we also want to know from you when we can have the revised exercise that you have done, so that we can also have another look. It is afterward that if there is a need for us to convey again, then the issues that you are talking about, we can even think about or even consider. But at this point, we are asking you, NDC, challenge the presentation by the Electoral Commission and let all of us know. We are asking you, based on 1, 2, 3 names, we are talking about 12. I'm talking about 300.
exactly what I presented. No, I could go back to my slides and you see. And I gave you a list of, the title of my slide was the current state of the register as we speak. So the figures you have there, like I told you, you had the total number of valid voters, those on the exceptions list, those on the multiples list. No, the proxies, you see, once again, remember, let me explain to you. Please, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. They were my slides and I titled them. And what I said was that this is the current state of the register. It includes those who have done special voting. Special voting is temporary. So is proxy. So the figures you have there were as it is now. So please, let's not make any mistakes about it. Yes. Right. Yes. Yes. So once again, Dr. Tanku, so that we are clear. So that you are clear and
Dr. Tanku, please take your seat. We'll give you the opportunity. Please. Kindly take your seat. GFP, please take your seat. Please take your seat. Dog. Please hold on. LPG. Please, I retracted it. I said the commission takes exception to that, and I retracted it, if you could remember. So please, GFP, please take your seat. Dr. Monibuama, please take your seat. Take your seat. There's a forum for all of us. No, we'll come back. Please. LPG, please. Let's stop the banter and the interjections, please. Doctor.
I want to be emphatic at the presentation.
No, respond to the question.
That was done. The presentation and the slide showed the current state of the register. And in the current state of the register, we gave you the total number of voters. We told you those who had registered for proxy. And mind you, proxy is temporal. So is special as well. And then we gave you, so a proxy registration is for an election. At the end of the election, those proxy voters go back. So please, let's understand the issues we are discussing. Then I gave you a list of all the people in our register who have done multiple registrations, and also all those who have done or who have been objected or challenged to and are on the exceptions list. Nowhere did I say that these people were people who are adjudicated. If you are on an exceptions list, you are there permanently until you use the processes that have been described to take you off the list. If you're on a multiples list, it is the same. So please, let's not get it confused. Adjudication, what you have is the cumulative number of people who are on the multiple list since 2020. So please, let's not confuse it. The other thing had to do with proxy voters. Proxy voters, we don't do biometric verification for proxy voters. So there's not a situation where some people are biometrically verified and some aren't. So please, let's clarify that. Then there was a question about credentials. You will all agree with me that a credential that you have for login, and login credentials can be changed by the individual. The credentials that you have for login are only secure for so long as you keep it to yourself. Remember, we are a human institution as well. You could very well give the password to your phone to your wife, and your wife can access your phone and do whatever it is that she wants to do. It's same with your kids. But in terms of an audit trail being in place, that audits every single minute interaction or transaction that occurs in the voter management system. It's all logged to the minutest. If you change an O to a 0, it is logged. So we know exactly when it was done and by whom. but the security that we have is as good as how secure the person keeps those credentials. And we have even improved the system so that now you realize that some of our login credentials are actually biometric based, especially for the registration officials. So security has been built into it, and we have an audit trail. We know exactly who did what and at what time. Yes. Yes. The facial recognition, that said that we have spent so much, how come facial recognition is not there? So ladies and gentlemen, we all know that technology evolves. And technology is only suitable for the time that is able to deliver the solution you are looking for. At the time that we're implementing this in 2020, the facial recognition system was not matured. So it was giving us too many errors in terms of the liveliness check for that particular subset of the solution. It meant that people we might be getting errors in terms of the authentication and would hamper the process. So what did we do? We decided that at that point in time, the technology was not matured enough to do what it was supposed to have done. We have been in constant contact with the manufacturers of the ABIS system to improve it. And fortunately, it's been done. That is not to say that, for example, the same system we use for the liveliness check is able to detect of a person or presume the age of the person. 50, but anytime is this a system you want to rely on? And every time you deploy technology, it must be appropriate for the time and the setting. At that time, that technology was not right. And the makers of the solution said that they needed tons and tons of data to train the artificial intelligence that is behind doing the liveliness check. So at that point in time, it wasn't appropriate. But fortunately, 4 years down the line, that technology has been improved. And therefore, we've implemented it. And we'll use it going forward. About Ernesto Fori. When we had this meeting with Ernesto Fori, at the meeting, I remember, and for those who were there, that I categorically said that that person was on the register. And there was an uproar. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I categorically, when you mentioned it and I asked you for the ID number, I told you that that gentleman is on the register and is valid and his transfer is correct. And there was an uproar. Having said that, we realized that you had a methodology for producing your data. That methodology that you had was based on assumptions that were wrong. And so today, I'm coming, let me land. I'm coming. So today, even if you use your online system, there are people who, when you check their system, tells them that they are in some other place where they are not supposed to be. And therefore, that in itself is a problem. Because now, the public is using a system that is based on a wrong data set. And we have examples of that. And possibly, it is important that the Commission makes it known that using systems that has data that is extracted with... The truth of the matter is that that's what it is. You tend getting wrong information from using that system. And we encourage everybody to use the system that has been developed by the Electoral Commission to verify their voter details. Now, the question about reversals. Remember I said every transaction is tracked, including the transfers. So we know exactly where you are coming from. If you've done one, even from 2020, if you give me a voter ID, I'll be able to tell you exactly where the person has moved from. From registration to transfer, if you did special voting, it is all documented. And so it's very easy for us to reverse transfers when we want to. It's not a problem at all. Now, the last question that was asked was the example that is Yaira, right? Yaira? Yes. Asked about voter ID numbers, somebody having a different voter ID numbers. Yes, that indeed did happen. It did happen in 2020 because once again, we're doing offline registration. Now, offline registration, what it meant was that there were some of the systems that were issuing the same ID numbers. This occurred in 2020. Since 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024, we've not had any such occurrences. All right? But in the past, when we're doing the offline registration, there were instances where some of the IDs overlapped. And I think this was well documented. And when it happened, those people who had the duplicating with new IDs, because obviously we saw the conflicts. And so those conflicts were fixed. So I don't know which case you are referring to. And once again, if you share the information, we'll go into it and we'll find it. We are open to correcting any issues that may arise. And it is important for us to understand that. Once again, I just want to go back and reiterate, the statistics that we have there are actually what is currently pertaining now. Proxy voters are temporal and therefore an election alone. Special voters are also temporal and therefore an election alone. Multiples are permanent. Once you're on a permanent list, once you're on a multiples list, you are permanent unless you go to court and have the court reverse it. Same with the exceptions list. So the figures you have there are the cumulative figures since 2020 and not for 2024 alone.
Please. PSC, please take your seat. Please take your seat. We'll come back to that. Please take your seat.
I think there was a question by you. The method. So anybody who we detected as having been illegally transferred, like I said, we have a record of where they came from, and therefore it's easy to reverse it. Okay. What Madam Chair mentioned is that, and what I also did was that, as this has happened, we are actually in a process of auditing all the transfers that have been done. And I even alluded to it, that we are using the physical paper records and comparing it with the data that we have. We know all those who did transfers by fingerprints, and we know all those who did transfers by facial recognition. And we are trying to find the people who may have spoofed the system and bring them all out. I don't make the algorithm. The people who made the ABIS are applying that. Pardon? The most important thing is that there are steps to identify if any spoofing has been done.
Thank you very much.
And the algorithm is a proprietary algorithm. We don't know. The manual voters, the question from whom was, where will the manual voter list be? The missing voter list will be. Once again, missing voters have already explained to you. Are people who rightly did a registration, but either they have a problem with their biometrics being corrupted, or their data never made it to a data center. Now, for those whose IDs are corrupt, we know them because we know what corrupt IDs are. And so we are trying to get them to come in and do manipulation. For those who are reported as missing, we are getting these reports from the vigilance of the district officers who are on the ground. And they are using a number of things to find out. Remember that at the end of every registration day, there's an end of day report. That end of day report consists of all the people who have been registered. So the districts, they know who have registered. And they are comparing it with what is in the register and what is in the district viewer. So if they know that this person was registered and they can't find them, immediately they flag them as being missing. And indeed, if we check and the person is not in our database, it means that the person is missing. The other thing we do is that then we go looking for their Form 1A and their Form 1C. Remember that it is only after the end of your registration that you get your Form 1C. And that is evidence that the registration actually took place. And then there's the Form 1A. So we are going to be compile the list of all the missing voters. And like Madam Chair said, we want to ensure that nobody is disenfranchised. So the Form 1C and the Form 1A will be made available at the various polling stations. If the person does show up to vote and his name is not on the list, and find out if it's on. If it's there, we will look at his 4-month performance compared with what is on his voter card. And if he passes one loose check, he's allowed to vote. So that's the explanation for it. Thank you.
Now we are going to take the last set of questions. Last set of questions. I think we are getting time. Yes, I'll go to LPG and then I'll come to GCPP. Yes, LPG, GCPP, NPP. Wow, everybody. Okay, so we start with LPG. LPG. Please, this time around, we're going to give you 2 minutes.
No.
2 minutes.
My brother, don't bring that. My name is Kofi Ipac, the next president of Ghana. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of all the other parties to commend the NDC. They have done the yeoman's job for taking time to go through the register, to be able to identify 50,000 people, 50,000 dead persons. It's not a joke. And Dr. Boma, well done. And 50,000, when you divide it by 18.7 million, it will give you 0.002. And this is not even up to 0.01%. So in auditing, this will be classified as immaterial. So no auditor will spend time to work on that because it's immaterial. So those who are calling for forensic audit, at this point in time, it casts my mind back to 2016 when what is that judge's name? The judge that we met at Alisa, 20 VCWWQRC crap. Yes, VCRAC crap. VC crap, yes. Okay. He said something, and I want to bring all our minds to it, that we had no time to waste. So from now to 7th December, it's 65 days or 67 days. When are we going to do this forensic audit? 276 constituencies, 40,000 polling stations, 18 million registered voters. Who is going to do that auditing in less than 60 days? So, NDC, please stop this request because it's not going to help anybody. And mind you, this is a biometric register. No dead person can come out from her grave or his grave to come and vote. So if there's a dead person on the register, what is it going to do to affect your results? So please, this one is non-starter. You shouldn't have even sent that request here. You have wasted everybody's time. So, EC2 need to be commended for the work that they did. This has demonstrated that EC is up to the task. They know what they are doing, and everybody must commend the EC. And I'm not going to accept that human error institution or whatsoever, because we all know some political parties in this country have been registering minors and foreigners who are not supposed to be on the register. And they have transferred a lot of people from places where they have no business to go and register to elect members of parliament. After doing this, then they turn around and come and tell us that the voter register is compromised. This register is not compromised. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. On my list, I think I'll take it to PPP. PPP. And then we'll move to the NDC. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone.
I'll come to
I will be very, very brief.
Please be.
One thing excites me about the Electoral Commission's presentation, and which is in all of this, they give us the assurance that they are either in the process of fixing the challenges, the anomalies, or they have fixed. However, one thing is also obvious from their presentation, that they admit or they come to terms with the fact that in the provisional register, in all water management processes and systems, there are certain elements that play a role and eventually culminate into the final outcome of what we call the voter register, which is the processes involved, the people, and the kind of technology we are using. I want to know, as we are all here, we all know that from the back end of the voter management system, there could be anything happening there that we are not aware. Just as the IT director said that certain things are happening and they could happen again. What I'm trying to find out from the director is that, and from the EC is that, what mechanisms or measures are they putting in place, or have they put in place to ensure that these loopholes will not be exploited by somebody, some bad person somewhere at the Electoral Commission to put in or key in persons that are not eligible to vote? I just want to know what steps they are going to put in place.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, PPP. Because the mic is there, I would like to go to NDP, then we'll come this way. Then we'll finish up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Quickly, from the proceedings so far, I think we are making fetish of the management of the IT system, even though the IT manager has explicitly explained to us, most of the observations that the NDC made. Please, don't let us take our attention away from the regulations that are provided in the CI. It is very, very important. After all, it gives direction to how maybe the IT system, should find out whether there's any fault or how to solve a challenge, and so on and so forth. Please, the whole electoral process is rule-based procedure. And the EC itself is a creation of the law. The most important thing is that they are the very nerve center of our multi-party democracy. And the way we carry out, the IT system, and challenge it into the extent of calling for a forensic audit or whatever, probably is not the route to go. That would not help us in any way. The point is that if you look at the regulations as they are stated, there's nowhere, where it brings out or states that at least there should be something forensic. I think it is very clear. If you take the voter, the exhibition to the provisional voter register up to the certified, the procedures there correct everything. So consider the problem of the NDC as somebody, the analogy that I give them is somebody who has maybe a spiritual malady rather than a physical malady. The problem is that, you see, we are all obsessed at this time, of the year going into an election to think that if we don't do A, B, C, probably we might not, win or something like that. But the problem is that everything is rule-based. We go out in the public to proclaim our flag bearers as having won. Or better still, if they don't win, then it means we are not going to agree, and so on and so forth. In violation of
I mean, the creation of the electoral management body. You know, so these are the things that we have to look at. I think the laws are what we must concentrate on, and not even the ICT, I mean the IT system. If we want to dwell on the IT management system, I think we will not have any solution out of the problem that they have asked. So it's very, very important that please let us look at the CI, you know, and see how we can apply ourselves, you know, to the CI for the resolution of the problems that we have. Everything that you have said here can be, you know, found in the regulations that the CI produces. And that is very, very important. Let us respect the regulations. Otherwise, we'll not get out of this mess. Thank
you very much. Please, we move it to GCPP.
Thank you very much. My name is Citizen Atudazi, the General Secretary for GCPP. Today, I will walk out of this room very proud as a Ghanaian because the electoral body has allowed itself for this open forum on this discussion. This cannot be found in even other developed countries. So I think it is important that we all become proud as Ghanaians seeing this day. I also want to say that our election processes has developed based on contributions by political parties. And we have made a key stride because the NDC did not relent and they pushed and pushed for this. So I also recommend the fact that their vigilance has also led us to another stride, which will become a history for all of us. In all this, I want us to remember that we are about 68 days to election. It is important that whatever that we do, we know that we are behind time already. Based on the calendar of the EC, we were supposed to receive the final register on the 5th of September. Today is the 1st of October. So we are already behind time. I would want to find out when will the certified register be ready for all of us. Number two, in all the deliberations that I've heard, we have referred to CI 91 and CI 127. That means that it's important we play by the rules of the game. And if we decide to go outside the rules of the game, that is where we would have all these issues that are happening. And I think during Madam's presentation, she made mention of another forum which could be on their website in terms of auditing. I think CI 91 Regulation 23 talks about the Commission providing or posting the provisional register on the website of the Commission. This is embedded in CI 23. I believe the exhibition period is over. CI 91 Regulation 23. And I believe the exhibition is over. So I am not too sure if we are opening ourselves up again for other processes that are beyond what is captured in the CI. We might be introducing a lot of interjections which might take us a longer period. So I think we should all agree that the processes have been laid out, it's been followed. We look forward to a certified register so that we can go on with the rest of the elections. God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong.
Thank you very much. On my list is CPP. CPP, yes.
Right. Good afternoon. I know we are all exhausted, but let me just say one thing. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Electoral Commission for being a listening commission. We've been going through a lot of processes that leads to demonization of our institution in Ghana. Most especially the Electoral Commission has been through this, through the MPP, NDC. And this time around, I want to say, Madam Jemensa, thank you very much for being so robust and resolute on these matters. We are also, the CPP's position is very clear. What is the position of the law as far as these matters are concerned? Once the positions of the law is so clear, from the CIs 91 to 126 and all those ones that are spelled out here, we don't need to jump out of the bar. Like Ghana is leading towards to an end. And I think this must stop. We must stop this. And also, I would also like to say this to the NDC, that they should take out propaganda out of every argument that they raise. That leads to electrifying the system. The temperature is so high in this country, like my senior brother said, Hassan Ayaraga. Ghana must survive and Ghana must live on beyond elections. And this is what should guide us. I mean, calling for demonstrations against a document that is at the draft stage. I mean, for God's sake, that is really, really above board. We know, everybody understands the word provision. Everybody understands the word provision. And also the media. I think you should also stop participating in these kind of things that you hyper the situation too much by giving so much listening ear to when issues are being taken on the propaganda level. You should be able to differentiate and know that Ghana stands first and Ghana must win. On this note, I'll say once again, we are all happy today for the display of the IT department. I'm going to walk out, like my brother said, walk out of this place very proud, because Electoral Commission takes a lot of things that we say are Ipac. Because today we have the media here. Some of us have been raising this issue, that the issue of trying to let parties go out and give audience to media is putting the Electoral Commission on the mat. And I think today, thank you very much for putting that on the drawing board and solving a solution.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll give it to the lady, I think, yes. Please, your name.
Hi, my name is Esther Saidanso. I'm PNC National Women's Organizer. And this is my question. I've witnessed several incidents on election day where people go and their fingerprint, the biometric cannot verify it. Same as the facial verification. So if this case happened, will it be that it will be offline verification? And if I may ask, how authentic would that be? Thank you.
Please, Tanku, Dr. Tanku. Dr. Tanku, please, Dr. Tanku. Dr. Tanku, please. We are giving one slot to you. One slot to you. You raise your hand and then I wrote your name against it. Please, 2 minutes. Thank you. No, please, PNC has responded. Please, Mr. Dr. Moni Boama, please go ahead. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Dr. Moni Boama, 2 minutes. We are all wrapping up.
It is obvious that, but for the NDC doing the hard work, analyzing the provisional voters register, a lot of the political parties that are speaking here today they got it and went to sleep. They should be thanking the NDC for this thorough work.
Please, there are no interjections.
Unlike
Please.
2015, when a certain running mate was bandying around 80,000 names in the register, that was proven to be false. Said to go. We have put before you here is authentic. We are clear in our minds that the issues that we are dealing with, coupled with the fact that, and the IT person of the EC has confirmed, that the login credentials can even get into the hands of girlfriends and all that. Is that not a key reason why we should be interested in the IT system, particularly as these are the manifestations that we are having? So we have presented our petition to the Electoral Commission as NDC. The petition is clear and obvious that we want a forensic audit of the register and a forensic audit of the IT system that produced these anomalies. What we will do is this afternoon we are meeting as a party, and the good news is that you will hear from us after our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manivuama. We'll conclude with the NPP, and that's it. Please move the mic to the NPP. NPP.
Hello. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, commissioners here assembled, our friends from the media, our colleagues. Just to put it on record, we received the provisional voters register. We did the needful. The New Patriotic Party has been very consistent that we printed them for our polling station executives for them to do audit. It is the reason why in Menchia South, the court has ruled that those names should be transferred back to their original polling stations. That's what we did. You've been commended already by Chairman McMahon, so that is fine. But the issue is, out of all the